All right, Cristiano Ronaldo scoring in yet another competition in the UEFA Europa League. The man who they've dubbed, who many have dubbed the king of the Champions League, making it in the Europa League, scoring his first goal, and Manchester United getting their first points on board in the Europa League. The last time they were here, well, maybe not the last time, but when they were here last week, Jose Mourinho, don't forget, they did win with the likes of Pogba, Zlatan, and the other guys, Eric Mkhitaryan, at Old Trafford. Anyway, moving back to our preview of the Premier League matches this weekend. Next up for the champions, Manchester City, they travelled to the Molineux to play against Bruno Lage's Wolverhampton Wanderers. Manchester City have been really good this season, although Arsenal still trump them just a little bit, but City are enjoying the form of Erling Haaland, who is scoring left, right, and centre. 13 goals already this season from Erling Haaland, with that wonder goal in the Champions League in midweek, in a game that, you know, seemed a little bit difficult for Pep Guardiola's men, but it looks like they might just have their reading back, and you would expect that City would go on to get all 3 points against Wolves. The game between Brighton and Hove Albion and Crystal Palace has been postponed, of course, due to situation surrounding still the funeral preparations after the death of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. Just one of 3 games that has been postponed. We'll be getting to the others in a bit. But high-flying Newcastle hosts Bournemouth at St. James's Park. Bournemouth started really poor. Of course, everybody remembers that 9-0 thrashing by Liverpool a couple of weeks ago. And Newcastle have been quite good. Alan Saint-Maximin looks like he's in a race to be fit for this game tomorrow at St. James's Park. They'll be hoping that he's fit, but Newcastle do have Alexander Isak available, their new big money signing from Real Sociedad in La Liga. The final game for tomorrow is going to be at White Hart Lane between Spurs and Leicester. Spurs with a disappointing loss in Europe this week. They lost in Portugal against Sporting Lisbon in the final 3-4 minutes of the game. Paulinho and Arthur Gomez with the goals for Lisbon, and Antonio Conte will be hoping that his boys will be able to bounce back against what has been a very, very disappointing Leicester side. The story coming from the King Power is that Kelechi Iheanacho might be starting ahead of Jamie Vardy this weekend against Spurs. Iheanacho has been quite good for Leicester. Every time he's gotten a chance, he's either scored or assisted this season. And I mean, I personally think that he does deserve to start for Brendan Rodgers. Rodgers, one of the managers leading the sack race in the Premier League this season. You get a feeling that there might be some news coming from the King Power if they lose again to Spurs this weekend. League leaders Arsenal travel to the Community Stadium in Brentford for a London derby this weekend, hoping to keep their place on top of the Premier League. The likes of Gabriel Jesus, Martinelli are players they'll be looking forward to help them secure all 3 points against a very, very difficult to beat Brentford side this weekend. Manchester United, whom you just saw their highlights getting all 3 points in the Europa League, are going to take a rest this weekend as their game at Old Trafford against Leeds United has been postponed due to lack of enough police officers to maintain security at the game. Everton got a very, very good result in their last game in the Merseyside derby against Liverpool. It was a fantastic performance, one that Alex Iwobi has shown on the Frank Lampard this season. They host West Ham, who have had a topsy-turvy start to the season under David Moyes. It's been fantastic back-to-back seasons for West Ham, but this year hasn't quite clicked just yet. Hasn't been bad, but looks like an evenly matched affair over there at the Goodison this weekend. The final game of the weekend was supposed to be the biggest one at Stamford Bridge. Graham Potter would have loved to get this game out of the way, or maybe he would have loved to also train his guys for a few more weeks before he gets the chance to play against Liverpool. But Liverpool are really struggling right now, struggling at the back, struggling to play well, struggling to get victories, just scraping points like they did this week, this midweek in the Champions League at home against Ajax. And I mean, Graham Potter would have hoped that if there was a time to beat Liverpool, maybe it was right now. But the game has been postponed because, again, due to the funeral preparations for the Queen, the London Metropolitan Police couldn't confirm that they will have enough officers for the game in West London between Chelsea and Liverpool. So Chelsea versus Liverpool officially is postponed for this weekend. That's our preview for the Premier League weekend. It's been an interesting show. And like I mentioned, we definitely will touch on the exit of the king, the legend, Roger Federer, which he announced yesterday. We'll be leaving tennis at the end of the Rod Laver Cup that will be going down in London at the end of September. The Rod Laver Cup is a tennis competition that Federer is it's sort of like the brainchild of Federer himself. He's played a big role in making it a competition that has been well respected on the ATP tour, and that's where where it all began. Is where he's going to end it. Well, maybe not where it began, but something that is his brainchild. That's where he would be ending his professional career in London at the Rod Laver Cup. So, for Roger Federer, we've gotten a little compilation from the last time he won a Grand Slam. Like he mentioned in his letter to the fans yesterday, it's been 3 years of pain, 3 years of injuries, 3 years of surgeries, and he feels that his body doesn't have the capacity to compete at the highest level anymore. But the last time they did, in 2018, at the season opening Grand Slam in Melbourne, Australia, he did win the Grand Slam, defeating Marin Cilic in the final.